What's going on, guys? So today on this O-CTOBER review, we're going to take a look at the final evolution and the final part of this 4-part series on Graham Aker suits. We have the Brave Commander type from the Awakening of Trailblazer movie. And realistically, as cool as all of the Gundams were from this is one of my favorite evolutions. Because this thing is just ridiculous compared to even the other normal Braves. So these are from the Soul Brave Squadron. Obviously they got called in kind of an emergency situation to come back up the Gundams because the ELS were all attacking and doing things. So here we have the image of, we got L's going on over here. We got particles going everywhere because G and Tau drives. Big old blast coming from the interesting looking gun there. We had the blue, because it's Graham, it's blue. And then we have the regular Soul Braves down here, which are green. I really wish I could get one of those. Honestly, I do. Let's see. We got the 00 logo, Awakening of Trailblazer, Bandai. We got Scale Model Gundams, Bandai 2010. Yay! Pretty. And this would actually have a nice read-up right here, but they completely blocked it. So you can't even tell that it's GNX 903VW. It's a Volkswagen. Yay. Alright, so we come to the bottom, and you get a repeat kind of the box art right there, pointing to a big old gun. It says stuff right there. It just says GN. Yay. Alright, now it got its flight mode. Got its other stuff mode. And mode change. Yay. We got swords. We got things. We got guns that can do things. We have stuff that moves and stuff. Arrows do arrowy thing. Hands do feet do things. Posing. I don't remember if it actually came with a stand. But it says it did, so it might have. That's awesome. Come to this side, you have Brave Commander test type. And you've got blah, blah, blah. Number 71 in the line, one of the last ones there. And all the good things. HG00, gotta love that. Come over here, and you get a read-up right there. It's 20.2 meters tall, so it's actually shorter than some of the previous ones. 65.2 tons, yay for that. All of the weapons, good for that. You got some images right there from the actual movie. Front and rear standing positions. Cruise position front, cruise position rear. That sounds really weird. And you've got the obligatory warnings between 3 and 18-year-olds. You probably shouldn't stick this in your face. And you've got a little guy with a toilet, 1,600 yen, and illustrated by Naochika Morishita. New suit. Still upside down. Yay! Alright, let's go ahead and get to it. Alright guys, so here we have the Brave Commander out of the packaging, out of the box, whatever you want to say, and in his flight mode. Now we did it this way because when we did the flag, we went from robot mode to flight mode. So I'm going to go the other way with this one. And realistically, this thing is really, really cool. Now, this isn't necessarily the stand it came with, but it is one of the ones that it would have come with. So I don't know exactly which one was which, because, I got a whole bunch of them all at once. But as you can see, we have a really cool new flight mode for this thing. Very, very nice. You got some wings coming out here. You got the thruster pods of GN drives over here. Big old nose cannon thing happening here. Head totally poking out. The arms now tucked away behind it instead of in front of it. So that's actually pretty cool. I really do like this design. I also really like this blue. Now in this mode he's got a few different details, such as this piece right here, which actually acts as an extra GN condenser. So that when they're at high speed flight, they're not wasting their normal particle storage directly from the GN drive, so you can actually use this to achieve longer flight. They actually did that at the beginning of the movie whenever they first pop up, because they needed to get to the battle out almost towards Jupiter and come and help. So now the biggest problem I have is keeping the feet together. I guess it's just not perfect, but also it's been a long time since I transformed this thing, and it is significantly different from the flag, so it's actually very, very cool. So actually, let's put it back on the stand for a second, and we will actually bring in the flag in flight mode. Alright, and now you can see some of the similarities and the significant differences. One, the Brave is significantly bigger. I mean, lengthwise, that's just huge in comparison. Actually, I gotta fix these wings a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. Plus, this one is more for atmospheric flight, hence why it's got more real wings. This one is more for space flight, that's why it's a little bit different. Also, GN powered, not GN powered. I think this is a beam cannon, I can't remember. Also, straight up GN weapons on this thing. So, major evolution over the course of, what, about 5 years, I believe, in the show. Not to mention, you know, you can see a lot of the similarities in the transformation. The legs swept back, such as that, except for the arms that now come back here, which apparently was a design on the predecessor of the flag. I can't remember what it was called, but it also transformed in a very similar manner. But, you know, this is a decent difference from here to here, and I do like it. While this, of course, does take a lot of design aspects from this guy, it also takes a lot of design aspects from the previous two, like the shoulder bits and stuff like that. But we'll look at that more in robot mode. So let's go ahead and set the flag over here. And of course, in this mode, you don't get a whole lot of options, but you got the nice wings here that flip out. And you can see I've done some paint work too. I got some gold poking out here on these little bits right there in here. We got some silver and some gold right there on the hands. Got some green right here on the little thrusters. So silver down here on the weird ankle struts. This thing's very, very spindly. Got some silver right in there. And of course you've got white stickers right here on the gun. If this had been a different story, I probably would have painted all those. So all of this is all stickers. I think this part is too, right there. And I believe a chrome or foil sticker right there behind the face. Now, one thing I appreciate on this design versus the flag, the head doesn't have to go up and down to lock it in position. I also really appreciate that you get a nice stand that clips on instead of plugging directly into the crotch. I always appreciate that. Let's see here, bend the legs a little bit. And this thing is also very, very secure. So the actual struts and wings, more or less, are plugged directly into the legs. So it's actually holding everything together very, very nicely. Really do dig that. And also, you can see right back here, gold around the GN drive, a little more gold right there, and I think this is a sticker right here, if I remember correctly. I can just see the details there. But this is one of my favorite suits. It's also one of the coolest things out of the movie. Now, the weapons do actually have a slight different firing mode, so you just split this. Very similar to that GN claw system on the Susanoo. But instead of just pinching, this is actually a giant cannon. And in fact, this is a tri-punisher, just like Susanoo had. So it can fire from here and here. So it can actually charge and fire all at once, firing a massive beam cannon, as he did several times in the movie. Plus, this cannon in and of itself is incredibly powerful. So, and also, a main difference between Graham's and the regular Braves. He's got twin drives because he can actually handle the speed at which that can move. Not a twin drive system like traditionally, but he does have the two drive systems just like he did on the previous suits, whereas the regular Braves will have a single GN drive mounted right there. So that is a difference. So if I can get a hold of one of the green ones, I definitely will, because I really do want to get that. But this is definitely Graham's suit. Alright, so from this mode, let's go ahead and get it transformed, because we can't do a whole lot in this. So the gun plugs in right there, see a nice little hole, got a plug right inside there. I think that allows this to go directly into the main GN drive for firing purposes. These stickers are coming off a little bit. That's okay. It is what it is. I really do like this gun. It's got two handles so you can hold it right or left-handed. Graham tends to actually be left-handed though. Don't know why, just always is. That's his preference. So you can see here. One problem, I'll talk about it right now. This crotch plate, this front bit always wants to come off. But it is ball jointed right there, so I don't know. It's really weird. I don't know. Alright, so let's go ahead, come back here, and unplug the legs if I can. Come on, there we go. So each leg just tabs in on that little wing strut right there. You can see hole, tab, hole, tab. Okay, so what do we do first? Okay, we want to fold these in like so, come over here to the arm. Just go ahead and move those out. Don't really need those there. And then you want to rotate the legs back forward, which the fact that they're only ball joint mounted actually makes it a little difficult. They tend to pop off fairly easily when you're trying to rotate this. So you want to rotate the entire hip forward, and the leg will just pop off if you don't do it right. Now there's another problem. These little bits right here tend to want to get underneath that and pop it off. So rotate that all forward. Turn the legs forward like so, and you can tell he's going to get really tall, really spindly, really fast. Also, it has some very unique feet. Very, very different design. Alright, so now that we got this mess taken care of up here, you want to come up here, rotate this back down. This is on a weird compound hinge system right in here that I'd completely forgotten about until I tried to transform this thing. So I need all of this to slide up inside there. I think pretty much like that. And nope, that's not close. So that's there. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much how that does. Alright, so these guys, you want to come up here. This is on a nice little double hinge. Just pull that out and roll it back as such, and then go ahead and rotate these down. Same thing over here. Pull it forward, rotate it on the double hinge, and fold it back all nice and clean. I don't think I did that one the same way. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Then rotate it back down there. Grab the arms. Kind of a weird dealie here. So you want to rotate at this, hold this part, rotate at the shoulder. So it's got multiple joints going on here, multiple things rotating. It's kind of annoying, to be perfectly honest, but if you do it right, it shouldn't be an issue. And then go ahead and use the bicep rotation and turn the arms forward. That was a little tight for some reason. Actually, that popped that out. Maybe that's a secure joint. The instructions show you to pull something out and then start rotating, but I couldn't figure out what the heck was actually supposed to move. It was a little wonky. Alright, so I'm going to push these back, get them out of the way, like so. And there we have Brave Commander pretty much in his completed robot mode and looking really, really awesome. Alright, so in robot mode we can see a whole lot more going on with the Brave Commander. You get a chest very, very similar to all of its predecessors, but definitely very much like the flag. And you also see a little bit more of the details. You can now see the GN field emitters right there on the shoulders, just as normal. Come around here, you can see the GN condenser bit. Now you can totally just remove this. You don't need it in robot mode. So you can set it off to the back, and you can just see right there. You got the GN drive / thrusters right there, looking very nice. And I didn't point this out, but I got a little bit of silver right inside there, and a little bit of gold going around right in there. I really do like this suit. You do have the nice kind of pointy bat ears, but they're less vertical on this guy compared to his original self from way back when. You got a couple black stickers right there that could be painted. You also have some, I think, verniers right in here, machine guns. And come a little bit lower here. See what we can see. There we go. Catch the gold right in there. Yeah. Now let's go ahead and pull in its previous iteration. We have, well, it's not the direct previous, but I just grabbed it. So we had the Maseral, basically the same kind of design aspects. And you can see that it's a lot less bulky than the Maseral and even the Susanoo, which has a significant bulk in the center section here. Let me stand it up. Now, it does have tiny feet and very spindly legs, so it's going to be slightly awkward, but hey. So you can see there, well, about the same height, minus the ears, of course. I knew that was going to happen. I felt it going to happen the second I touched it. Wow. That is one reason why I leave these things on stands. They're so tall and spindly. So you can see a lot of similar details. You've got these things more or less on the shoulder armors, kind of recreated over here on the shoulder and also here on the crotch. The GN thrusters are still very, very similar, except now they can fold away and stuff like that. That's actually very good. The arms are significantly smaller, nowhere near as bulky between the two, although you keep the same GN field emitter there. You also get these nice shoulder spikes going on here. Oh, this guy's just not wanting to face the right direction. And you can see the feet share very similar designs, but these guys are bigger, not to mention have the extra strut there for support. You do get the same GN verniers on the backs of the legs in a very, very similar manner. You gotta love that. So they took a lot of the design aspects from these and applied it to this, but also shrunk it down just a little bit. You can see the same thing back here on the GN setup. Very similar, but a lot smaller on this one. And for comparison again, here's the original over flag. And you can see massive, massive size difference here. And massive design difference as well. One, you don't have the silly propeller shield on the arm. You do still get the very long spindly legs, although it's a bit more pointy but also round. The gun is actually very similar in nature, and you have the same kind of face going on, although the flag doesn't really want to look forward or up. I really do dislike some of the transformation design on the flag. It's very, very inefficient. This is complicated, but better at doing it. That's the best way I can put it. But I do love these things. So a massive difference between how this evolved into this technologically and everything else. But I love the flag for what it is. But the Brave Commander is one of the best suits that was developed that is non-Gundam, but could easily match the Gundams in firepower and speed, and even had his transgram mode. You heard me. You have to watch the movie. He totally uses transgram. Now, one thing that he does still carry over from his previous iterations, he still has the power cable like that, although I don't know if or where it's supposed to plug in. So unlike the previous weapons where it was pretty obvious where it went, there's nothing even like that. There's no shoulder plug, there's no nothing. So I think it's just there for aesthetic value only, because I think even in the instructions it doesn't tell you where it should go. So most of the time, unless you're going to have it in robot mode, you can actually just leave it off entirely. But it's kind of cool to have it. Now he does have one other weapon that he comes with, and it is a beam saber. So prior to this, he had the beam blades on the Masaral. He had the combination weapons on the Susanoo. On the original one, he almost had basically a beam or a vibro blade. This one came with a beam saber. However, this is not how it comes out of the box. It actually comes with just a solid white blade on there. So I cut that off. I took just a tiny little blade and actually cut a notch in there and made this beam blade fit. So I also added a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver to the handle, just to make it a little bit more lightsaber-like. And you can see it's a little bit crooked, but I also have it super glued in place because I knew it was never going to stay under normal circumstances. Now he holds it just fine. It's actually a pretty fat, pretty fat beam saber. I also really like how these hands go on versus some of the other ones. But this thing is pretty awesome. Look at that. Yeah, that's just a good looking suit. That's pretty much all the accessories it comes with. Doesn't have the dumb chakram or anything like that, but apparently he did have something like that, but it was mounted in the knees. I don't know, I was reading up on it. Apparently it had some sort of chakram thingy, but all it did was more like an EM pulse that would disrupt electronic devices or something like that. No clue. I don't even know if that was in the movie either. So let's go ahead and get this guy into the display with everybody else. Alright, so here's our good old display setup. And I've got the Brave in a very cool pose. I tend to have it in a pose very, very similar to this. Now I think, actually I need to move the gun just a little bit. I'm kind of annoyed by the twin grip setup, but it kind of allows for some things to happen, other things to not happen, so I don't know. There we go, get it almost vertical. That's kind of how I want it. Something like that. And then we'll just line it all up and set it right in there. Go ahead and straighten that up. Straighten up the torso. And there we have it. The final part of the Graham Aker's suits from 00. Now you can say, hey, you need the Mr. Bushido's ahead. Yeah, I do. But realistically, I keep these four together because they're all evolutions from each other. While the ahead's technology did help to build into these, and of course eventually that, design-wise, they're not really, it's not really on par with the rest. And I just popped that right off. I didn't mean to. So, I mean, I want to get it. If I can get it, I definitely will, just to help complete the series. But I really love this setup. I love these suits. These two especially are so amazing in their design and the coolness and the weapon stuff like that. And this thing's transformation is so wicked. But you can never forget where you came from with the overflag. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed this little 4-part series right here over Graham Aker's suits from 00. Especially the second season suits. And if you haven't seen it, go back and watch old 00 I will be adding as many as I can this year, but obviously I have a lot less to work with. But I will get to as many as I can, guys, I promise. Because we still have a lot of new stuff to look at as well. So, guys, remember to like and subscribe if you're new. If you don't know about my Patreon, it'll be right here on the screen. Andy, John, Steve, you guys are great. Also, don't forget to go check out the new merchandise, quote-unquote, that there is in the Patreon. So if you guys are interested in that, go look at that. And guys, remember, as always, keep on building.